Well, she sneaks around the world from India to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filcher from Berlin down to Belize. She'll take you for a ride on a slow boat to China. Tell me, where in the world is
Governor Gavin Newsom? That's right, folks. We have a little bit of a mystery these past 11 going on 12 days, I believe. Where is California Governor Gavin Newsom? I'm sure that you guys have been seeing reports on this by now on some mainstream stations that are saying, where is he? Where has he been? What's going on? The last time the governor of California was seen was on October 27th, getting his booster jab. He has been like on pictures and possibly pre-recorded messages, but a public live viewing of him has been October 27th when he was getting his booster jab. There's reports coming out, very, very early reports on people's Substacks. Some independent writers are talking about it. People having conversations with their connects saying that he might have suffered some sort of jab injury. Let's calm down, right? Because we don't know for sure. And we also don't wish that on Governor Gavin Newsom. But this person has been on television like every day for the past 18 months talking about COVID, and then you take your jab and all of a sudden you go missing. It kind of gives a little bit of maybe it's not a good look. And oh, by the way, your kids need to take this jab too. Governor Gavin Newsom already mandated the jab in California. He said as soon as it was approved by the FDA to be given EUA, it's mandated for children in California. Okay, so for somebody who believes in the jab to take a jab on October the 27th, and we haven't seen you publicly, like a public speaking of you, a public viewing, public hearing, press conference, something with you, it's not a good look, and it is going to make people start to question, did you have a situation? Because I did too. I said, maybe this guy had some sort of injury or something, because it's not like it's some conspiracy. It is plausible that could happen. That could happen to anybody. There's early reports. People are saying that he might have either had Guillain-Barre syndrome or some sort of Bell's palsy, some sort of palsy or something, nerve damage from the booster jab. We can't say if that's exactly what's going on. Maybe he's just hanging out with his family and he just feels like he doesn't feel like working. The only thing is you are an elected official for the public, for your constituents are wondering where you're at. And his wife was annoyed that people were asking questions. She put some crazy tweet out, told people to stop hating, and then had to take down a tweet. So here we are with that. But I decided, let me go ahead and make this video and explain nerve damages such as Guillain-Barre syndrome, transverse myelitis, and Bell's palsy. I said, let me just go ahead and explain this stuff, because if in fact this is happening to him, the media will try to lighten it up and say, hey, this is a very rare thing. It doesn't happen often and everything will be okay, and try to like brush it under the rug. All right. I am not trying to scare anybody, but we need to have the real discussion about what these issues could possibly be. We need to have a real discussion about those topics and how they're defined and what they do in your body. And then we can also talk about how this particular jab might make these nerve damages not be so much of a small issue anymore. All right. So let's get into the scientific part of this video. Guillain-Barre syndrome is a rare autoimmune disorder in which your own person's immune system damages the nerves, causing muscle weakness and sometimes paralysis. GBS can cause symptoms that last for a few weeks to several years. Most people recover fully, but some have permanent damage. Some people have died from GBS. People with GBS usually first experience weakness or tingling sensation in both legs. Many times this spreads to the arms and the upper body. Symptoms may increase until some muscles cannot be used at all, and in severe cases, the person can become paralyzed. Symptoms can progress over hours, days, or weeks, and weakness typically peaks within the first 2 weeks after symptoms appear. Recovery may take as little as a few weeks or as long as a few years. Okay, so basically GBS, your immune system can attack your nerves and cause the myelin sheaths to become damaged, and just basically you'll have damaged nerves, okay? With transverse myelitis. Transverse myelitis is an inflammation of the spinal cord, the part of the central nervous system that sends impulses from the brain to the nerves in the body. The spinal cord also carries sensory information back to the brain. The term myelitis refers to inflammation of the spinal cord. Transverse refers to the pattern of changes in sensation. There is often a band-like sensation across the trunk of the body with sensory changes below. Symptoms may develop suddenly over a period of hours or over days or weeks. And some of these symptoms can include pain, sensory problems, weakness in the legs, possibly the arms, and bladder and bowel problems. All right, and then for Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy is an idiopathic peripheral nerve palsy, including facial nerves. A cell-mediated autoimmune mechanism against a myelin basic protein has been suggested for the pathogenesis of Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy may be an autoimmune demyelinating cranial neuritis, and in most cases, it is a mononeuritic variant of GBS, Guillain-Barre syndrome, a neurologic disorder with recognized cell-mediated immunity against peripheral nerve myelin antigens, okay? All these things basically they can be caused too by viruses. They can. Bell's palsy can be caused with latent herpes viruses such as herpes simplex or herpes zoster, okay? It's the nerve damage. So just like with transverse myelitis, once again, they bring up the herpes virus with this one, and cytomegalovirus, Epstein-Barre viruses, and West Nile virus, Zika virus, influenza. So we know viruses can cause nerve damage, okay? Anything that goes into your body as an antigen that your body doesn't know can cause nerve damage. You notice that there's a common thing with all this is the myelin sheaths that are getting damaged, whether they're getting inflamed or they're getting like broken apart. It causes severe issues. And just as a quick definition of a myelin sheath, it is an insulating layer or a sheath that forms around nerves, including those in the brain and spinal cord. It is made up of protein and fatty substances. This myelin sheath allows electrical impulses to quickly and efficiently along the nerve cells. If myelin is damaged, these impulses slow down. All right? So that's just huge to remember that the impulses slow down, and that's how you get the paralysis, and either the facial drooping, or maybe the arm won't move, or maybe the full body paralysis. And so I've explained all these intricate details. So you see how the nerves are made. These details in our bodies, they're so intricate. Every cell, every little piece of something in our body has a purpose. It has a reason. Actually, when you think about it, it is extraordinary and amazing, because this is the type of little things that make me say God has to be real, because, man, everything connects. Every little thing connects. It's just amazing to see how every little thing has a purpose. So if all those little pieces in your body have a purpose, those little sheaths or dendrites or axons, they all have a huge purpose. That means your whole body has a purpose. That means you have a purpose, okay? Message. All right. So certain parts of the spinal cord, they deal with like certain parts of your body. So now you have a situation like transverse myelitis, where a certain spot in your spine gets swells up, and that's why you don't have control over your movements in certain areas, okay? And again, those myelin sheaths, they can't get inflamed, they can't get damaged. It's very important that they stay intact. You decide you want to go and do a dance and you want to do jazz hands, right? Moving like this with the jazz hands, your brain is already sending a signal real fast through your nerves to go through your hands so that you can do jazz hands. Everything has to stay intact. Once you start damaging your nerves, your myelin sheaths, your axons, dendrites, because these attacks can go all the way in to the structure. Now, you can't jazz hand no more. You can't even lift your hands, okay? Why do I say that the jab is very much responsible for this? Well, first of all, in many jabs, these things are noted as side effects. And with this particular one, we gave it very irresponsibly. It's like we're giving a jab for the common cold, you could say, because like I told you before in my previous videos, coronavirus is one of the various cold viruses. I will be making a video talking about the common cold, what we call the cold, which will give a better understanding of why I use that kind of terminology. But again, we gave an irresponsible jab where it didn't matter if you already had COVID. They said you could take the jab anyway. And then they tell you, well, it gives you more immunity. It gives you more antibodies. That might be true. You don't want all of those antibodies. You send your body into a hypersensitive immune response, okay? We are giving boosters already 6 months into it. I mean, when these people have their way, it's going to be every 6 months boosters. When does it stop? And sometimes a lot sounds like, yay, a lot more extra, good, extra antibodies. Respect the way the body works. Too many antibodies can mean damage. Let's talk about a little bit more symptoms from more Guillain-Barre, because Bell's palsy, like I said, it's going to be the facial droop, transverse myelitis. It depends on what part of your spine that swells up, that is going to affect how you move around. Guillain-Barre can go to a whole nother level. When I was learning about Guillain-Barre, I was petrified because they were like, we don't know why this happens. It can happen to anybody. And I'm like, thanks. I'm like, that makes me feel really good. So, but you end up respecting the body. But there's reasons why these things happen. It's not like you're just going to walk down the street and then all of a sudden you just got Guillain-Barre. No, that's not how it goes. But it can it starts pretty much from the bottom up. You get the tingling in your legs, you might get some muscle weakness, you're not able to walk. The problem is, the higher up it goes, the more issues you run into. If you're getting damages all throughout your body, now you get to a point where you're paralyzed, right? You can't move. You can't function. You can't respond. People are talking to you and you're not responding back. You're in a vegetative state. You could possibly come out of it, where I have seen evidence of people who got that sick, got that bad, where they weren't talking and everything. And then after months and months, their nerve cells rebuilt themselves and they ended up coming back to themselves again. Still with some sort of residual damage, but they were able to start talking again. And with therapy, they were able to start moving and everything. But if you get to the point where you can't move, you have that much nerve damage. Remember, everything has a nerve. Your lungs, remember, so your brain is telling your lungs to open up, to take a breath. Now you can't do that. You know what happens? Your lungs stay closed. And then you end up getting secretions. You might need a trach. They might have to suction you. It just opens up Pandora's box of problems. You could have urinary tract infection. You could have respiratory infection. You can have blood clots. It can open up a slew of issues. All right? Let's hope, though, if Gavin does have this stuff going on, that he's just having some tingling in his legs and he's not able to stand up as much and it just goes away. Because I would not wish this on anybody. I really would not. Before we give this jab or any jab, they ask you, have you had GBS before, any kind of nerve damage? They ask you these things because technically then you shouldn't take another jab because that's how your body responds to vaxes, right? Except for this time, just like I said, everything I've learned about vaccines have gone out the window. You know, back in the day, if you have the measles, you don't take the measles shot. Today, you've had COVID, you can take the COVID shot. It's the weirdest thing. So even if you've had GBS, well, me as a nurse, I wouldn't want to give you that shot. But your job would say, I'm not taking that medical exemption. There are people who are hearing, I'm not taking that medical exemption. You still just need to get jabbed. And that is dangerous and evil. Of course, there's articles that say, oh, well, we can't really link GBS to jabs because I guess their understanding is that they don't know what's in the jab that's making people get the GBS. And these are the player words that I don't like, because it's not about what's in the jab, even though it's not just about what's in the jab. It's how your body will respond to a jab. It's not that they purposely did something wrong. No. But your body can go into a hypersensitive immune response. You're never going to find the magic link in a shot that's going to say, this is why you're having nerve damage. No, it is how your body responds. And speaking of the flu debacle of 1976, yeah, we've been through this before. This road, what we're going through with coronavirus, we've been through it before, except for now we have social media, we have censorship, and we have corporate press. In 1976, a lot of people were told that the swine flu was out. I believe it was the swine flu, and that massive people were dying from it. And then everybody believed their government. They ran off and got this shot. And a lot of people got nerve damage. A lot of people died. It was a class action lawsuit. I will make a video about the flu shot debacle of 1976, because I think that is something that definitely needs to be discussed. So that's what I wanted to make this video about. Again, we don't know what's going on with Gavin. Maybe he's just taking some time off. He does need to show himself soon, because it ain't looking that good that you took this thing, you was hyped, flexing on the camera, and then now we don't see you. That will cause a lot of vaccine hesitancy. So I suggest you come and just tell everybody, like, hey, everything is okay. Because, hey, if everything is okay, you should answer to your constituents. They put you on. So tell them, I'm fine, okay? I'll come back with updates. He was supposed to talk today. He didn't make any type of press conferences or anything, so I don't know. But if he does, I'll come back with updates, and I'll be happy to see him doing well, all right? So thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far into the video, I appreciate all my views. I appreciate all my likes, all my comments. I appreciate all the support. And I know I say this all the time. If you want to hit that subscribe button, it is completely your choice. But I appreciate everybody who does, and I appreciate everybody who watches. Share the video, comment below, tell me what you feel. And you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.